Thank you. I'm Philipp Hartmannsgruber. I'm from Germany. And I will start with a short presentation. It's only like 1 minute. So you get a sense about Germany and the German parliament, which will be here. And like 1.5 months ago, we founded the Bitcoin Bundesverband. It's a German Bitcoin association. It is a lobby association for Bitcoin companies in Germany and Europe. And yeah, let's start. Yeah, this was the foundation of the German Bitcoin Association. It happened in the German parliament. We were 50 people, and you saw one woman in a black and red dress. She's actually a member of the German parliament, and she's one of the few Bitcoiners we have in Germany as politicians. There should be more, but we don't have that many, unfortunately. So what will I talk today about? About Bitcoin on a global stage, and pivotal moves by nations. First, who am I? As I said, I'm the chairman of the German Bitcoin Association. We have right now 90 members. We have, from those 90 members, there are like 50 companies, Bitcoin companies, of course. They're mainly from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, so the German-speaking countries, but actually like all over Europe. And we are getting now more and more companies from the United States because all of those companies, especially from the United States, if they want to do business in Europe, then they have to apply for laws in Germany or in the European Union. That will be on the next slide. So I have a podcast called Bitcoin Insights. I am the founder of OrangeStats. It's a Bitcoin educational platform. And I work at Blockbrain too. It's an AI company, but they have a Bitcoin standard, and most of the people are paid in Bitcoin. But it's traditional AI. So I would like say something about countries which did something with Bitcoin or like could do something with Bitcoin. And I would like to start first with Germany or the European Union because that's actually the most I know about. And Germany is like, I would say, the European leader in regards to clarity to Bitcoin. So they were the first to have like laws and regulate Bitcoin, which is not that good, but in the end we have to live with this. So at least there was like clarity regarding Bitcoin saying it is a financial instrument. That was back in 2013. And what is pretty good in Germany, like maybe you know it, we Germans, we have to pay a lot of taxes. On Bitcoin, if you hold Bitcoin for more than 1 year, you don't pay anything. So you don't have to tax the gains on Bitcoin if you hodl for more than 1 year. That's amazing. I don't know that many countries which have this great taxation system. But we had to fight for it really hard 2.5 years ago, and I think with the next government, we have to fight again. If you want to sell it in under 1 year, and the gain is more than 1,000 euro, you have to tax it with your personal income tax, and that's like up to 45%. So that's not good, but you should not sell your Bitcoin, so it's fine, I guess. We have ETPs in Germany. We don't have ETFs like in the US and like in Brazil. We have ETPs. It's actually the same, not much difference. And I think Germany was one of the first countries which regulated crypto custody. So I don't know. I'm like the first Bitcoin I bought, I lost the private key. So I'm not that good in keeping my private key. And I think there are a lot of other people who are not that good in this. So for some, it is maybe not that bad that you have like a custodian for your private key. And Germany had like clarity on this in 2020. And I don't know if you've heard about it, but we will have on the January next year the markets and crypto assets regulation, and this will harmonize all of the regulation in the European Union, and it's actually based on German law. So like most of the laws, or most of the points in the MiCA are based on German laws like crypto custody. Maybe a question, who of you heard that Germany sold 50,000 Bitcoin? Who of you think that Germany sold 50,000 Bitcoin? Like, who was responsible? Germany, the German government? Let's say the media framed it like Germany, the chancellor, the finance minister of Germany, they were responsible for it, but that's not true. It was Saxony, a small state. It's like in the east of Germany, and they have the right to sell Bitcoin if it was seized. And there's a law, it says, if the possibility that the seized asset changes in value of 10%, then you can sell it. So that's the law. And the general prosecutor of that little state said, okay, we have to sell it, we want fiat. And they did it. So it was not Germany, it was not the German government, it was not the chancellor, it was not the finance minister. It was a little state in Germany. Still, it's not optimal, but the media framed it differently, and there was a lot of making fun, especially in the US, about Germany. Even Trump said it in Nashville. And no, it was not a German government. But I talked about this in length at Bitcoin Amsterdam, so if you want to learn more about this particular topic, just watch it on YouTube. Yeah, so I think Germany, European Union, they're pretty good in doing regulations. Sure, I'm not a fan of this, but as I said, we have to live with it. And right now, the taxation system is pretty good for hodlers in Germany. And I don't know if you, maybe another question, did you hear that the German government broke up 2 days ago? No? Yeah, there's no German government anymore. Sorry? Yeah, this was the Saxony case I just said with the 50,000, which again was not the German government, it was one small state. But the German government, they broke up 2 days ago. Actually, the chancellor fired his finance minister from the Liberal Party because he said, no, I don't want to lend any more money. And then the chancellor said, okay, bye-bye. And now we will have a re-election pretty soon. So yes, the German government is not really good at the moment, but that's another topic. So next, United States of America. Bitcoin regulation is varied. Like every state try to have its own approach. Some buy Bitcoin, some want to ban Bitcoin. It's really no one strategic guideline there. Federal agencies like the SEC, the CFTC, they try to regulate Bitcoin, but they are not really sure how to. We have no ETFs in the United States. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this, but it is like it is. So we see major institutions growing interest into it, putting a lot of money into Bitcoin, especially with ETFs from BlackRock, for example. I know that the United States is working on a federal regulation like MiCA, the European regulation, because I had actually a talk with the White House last year. And they asked questions like, what are you doing in Europe? What is MiCA? How could we implement this in the United States? So I'm pretty sure that like maybe in 2 to 3 years there will be something similar like MiCA in the United States. But now with Trump, I don't know, you never know. The same thing is here, reserve currency. Who actually thinks Trump United States will buy 1 million Bitcoin? Raise your hand if you think they will. Yeah. I don't know, maybe. It's a 50-50 chance that what Trump is saying he will actually do. So let's see and wait. Again, I have more libertarian standpoint. I'm like for separation of state and money. I know there are different views on this, but I'm not that sure if it's really good for Bitcoin if states like the US is really buying a lot of Bitcoin, and if it's so good that BlackRock has so many Bitcoin. Not that sure, but yeah, in the end, that's nothing I can personally influence. I try to influence Germany and European Union, but not the US. So then let's go to El Salvador. It is the first Bitcoin country in the world, and with this, it of course influences the global discussions about Bitcoin. Should other states go the same way that El Salvador took? Bitcoin is now a legal tender. They do Bitcoin mining. They have their volcano-backed bond initiative. They try to build a Bitcoin city. Just read they got 1.7 billion from a Turkish company for doing this. Again, I'm not sure how I personally think about this. Sure, it is good. Now, like El Salvador is now in everyone Bitcoiner's mind, and I didn't knew El Salvador existed before. But it's a top-down approach, and you see that it's not working that good. Because if you don't educate the people, why should they accept Bitcoin? And I think it's like 8% of all transactions are based on Bitcoin in El Salvador, which is quite a lot. So it's not bad, but I think it could be better. And I'm not sure if like top-down approach is good, that a government says, yeah, Bitcoin is now a legal tender. Personally, I think it should be a grassroots movement, so coming from the bottom up. But again, I'm flying next to El Salvador. I want to see the country with my own eyes before I can judge. I think it's good what Bukele is doing, what he's trying to do, and I think it's good for the economy that he has Bitcoin as a legal tender. And as I said, it is like a role model for other countries. Again, another country I didn't even know. I know it's a border country from Brazil, but I think even from Brazil to get to Suriname, it's not that easy. And I talked to Maya, which is a presidential candidate in Amsterdam, and she wants to do kind of the same like El Salvador, declaring Bitcoin as a legal tender. And so Suriname could actually be the second Bitcoin country in the world, but there's still a lot of corruption. And there are death threats to Maya, so I don't know how good her chances are, and if she gets elected, like, I don't know how bad it is actually there, but it didn't sound that good. So motivations are largely economically. I think remittances is always a case from countries like here in South America, and financial inclusion. And again, I think it could be a really great impact that a country like Suriname adopts Bitcoin. But yeah, let's see. I think the elections are in March or something like that, so not that far away, and maybe we will see then the second Bitcoin country in the world. So then Argentina. I just was in Argentina at La BitConf, and yeah, there are a lot of economic crises. The inflation is still high. I think it was like 240%. Now it's down to 208% compared to September last year. So still a very high inflation. I think there are some people who actually use Bitcoin for their savings. You have Milei. He is radical. He is like shutting down the state, the government. The government is, I think, mixed regarding Bitcoin. I just talked to some people here. They said Milei, he is apparently a bit more focused on Bitcoin Cash than Bitcoin. I don't get it, but in some point in the future he will get to Bitcoin too. I just read when I was in Buenos Aires that they have a Bitcoin mining exhibition from the central bank. Not really sure if it's actually from the central bank, but it is there. It is in a museum. And if I, like, as a German, would I think that the European Central Bank is doing a Bitcoin mining exhibition? No way. So I think this could be a good sign, but I don't know where Milei is going with this. I think, like, with his, what I read about him and his style of being a president, I think Bitcoin could fit pretty good in this. But again, I would not say that he should like declare Bitcoin as legal tender, because the people, it has to come from the people. So the first thing I would do is like do education about Bitcoin and talk about it and bring it up, but don't say, yeah, Bitcoin is now legal tender. Again, it could have a positive impact. El Salvador could be a role model. Let's see. So last slide, and I can't tell you much about Brazil because you know much more about this. But as far as I understand it, Brazil is or could emerge as a regional leader in Bitcoin regulation and adoption. There's PIX. As what I heard, it's great. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but still. The central bank has explored a digital real, but if it's like a central bank digital currency like the digital euro, and it talks right now in Europe, then it's not good. You have ETFs, as far as I understood. There is an active crypto market. Again, it's here a Bitcoin conference. I'm a Bitcoiner. I'm not a fan of crypto, but I think a lot of people start with cryptocurrencies and then they go to Bitcoin. For me, it took like 5 years, I would say, to go from crypto to Bitcoin. I started in 2016, and but everyone needs his or her time. And again, like probably every country, Bitcoin, Brazil could highly profit from a Bitcoin standard. So, what are the learnings by Bitcoin? No financial advice, but I think it is a good advice. Yeah, that's it. If you want to contact me, feel free. You can scan the QR code here on LinkedIn, X, or Nostr. And I think we have some time for questions if you have questions. Any questions?
Any question?
No?
Alguma pergunta, gente?
Then I saved some time, I guess.
Have time. Yeah.
But
No? Okay.